I grew up in Nyalararu, but I only got to see my father like weekends. We never had that family time. My mother found out that he had another girlfriend. Growing up, I could hear my father fighting with guys outside. They knew me for my father's name. I had anger problems. I hurt one of the students very severely.
You're listening to Not the Same, a podcast that brings you true stories of real people sharing their personal testimonies of transformation. I am Rachel Heimberg, your host. Today I'm sitting with Morgan Simons. Morgan is a recent graduate of our Choose to Change program, a year-long drug rehabilitation program that we run here in El Dorado Park. This program has been an incredible thing to be a part of as we've seen countless lives delivered from addiction. I know nothing about his testimony. I'm expecting it to be incredible. Thank you.
Pleasure.
I appreciate you taking the time. Just tell me your story.
I grew up in Nyalararu Park with my mother and father for a few years. My father was always working night shift. So my mother worked day shift jobs, and during the day, we couldn't be at home most of the time because my father had to sleep to go to the night shift. My mother dropped us in the morning by my grandmother's house. I only got to see my father like weekends. So I was the man of the house because it was just me and my sister.
How old is your sister?
3 years older than me. I have other siblings from my father's side and my mother's side, but they are older than me and younger than me.
Oh, wow.
I'm the middle.
Okay. What year were you born?
Born in 1990.
And were your parents ever married?
Yeah, they were married, me and my sister. We are the only two blood siblings out of everyone, and we're not born out of wedlock. So
Wow.
my mother and my father got married before us. So with my father and my mother, we never had that family time unless it's now us coming from church. My father's obviously there. He's a Catholic, so he was always drinking, the type of lifestyle they live when only church on Sunday and the rest of the week you live like a demon. But my mother always took us to church down the road. I grew up knowing Christ, but I never got baptized or gave my life to him or anything.
So when you were young, you said you never really knew your father except on the weekends.
Yes.
Because you're at your granny's
I was
during the week.
Yes.
When you guys were at home, was it chaotic or was it pretty okay?
I could say it was because my mother's not a drinker.
Okay.
She was a smoker. When I would see her smoking, then I would see that doesn't affect anything. She was smoking cigarettes, and she stopped smoking when my brother started smoking, my eldest brother, because he was driving us from school to home.
Oldest son.
Yes.
Okay.
Not from my father, but my father raised him as his own because his father was absent. For me, I think that my father paid more attention to my brother than me. He had my father in his life. When I came to realize that I have a father, then they were already separated and that left a void. Most of my life angry at my elder brother because I saw that my father gave him the cars, all the money that he inherited. And
it wasn't his biological son.
Exactly. So I grew a little bit jealous of that. But my brother always shared with me.
So growing up, you said your mom, she wasn't a drinker.
No.
But your father was a drinker.
Yes.
So he worked night shift and then sleep all day.
Yes.
So you never saw him?
I never saw him. I would see him when he wakes up. He says, "Bye, son, but I'm going to work now." Then he's gone. At night, during his shifts or something, then while me, my mother, and my sister are laying in bed, then he'd phone and say, "Hi, how you guys doing?" Speak on general things, but
he was there, but no relationship.
Yes.
Okay.
Then weekends, my brother and him, they would go out and drink, and so I had that envy and that void to say I don't have a father figure because my brother had most of the relation with him.
Yeah.
And then my father would coach him how to coach me because he wasn't there to do it. When I started growing up, I had this anger towards my brother. Who are you to tell me? We would always argue. And then when I grew a little bit older, we started getting into physical fights. My mother had him when she was a little bit young, so he would always be disrespectful towards my mother.
What's the age difference between you two?
He's 7 years older than me.
Okay, yeah, so it's quite a bit.
And then I would always see my mother crying because of words that he gave her, and it would vex me. And then I eventually gushed out and I started building towards that anger. And then my family used to tell me, "No, he's your brother, you don't have to act like this." We forgave each other, but after a while, it still comes back.
There's a root problem.
Yeah, I didn't know that I was building up this anger. When my mother and my father separated, I actually blamed him for it.
How old were you when that happened?
I think I was about 13. I just graduated from primary school.
Do you know what happened?
I think that my mother found out that he had another girlfriend, which was my baby sister's mother.
Oh, okay.
She forgave him for cheating on her like a few times, but that actually broke her heart.
Yeah.
She filed for divorce. They divorced when I went into secondary school.
What was the home life at your granny's place?
We had all our families together. It's my mother's mother. My mother had 3 brothers and 6 sisters.
Oh, wow.
So they had a
That's
big family, and then all the sisters have similar birthdays on their children.
So the cousins are all the same age.
All of us, we are the same age. So we grew up like a community of every generation.
Yeah.
We have our gang. So
Was that nice for you or what?
it was nice. It was chaotic, very chaotic. And I was the ringleader. I came out of a violent background. The surrounding area that I live in, here in Extension 4. Growing up, I could hear my father fighting with guys outside because of dice games and fighting over alcohol and stuff like that. And I would always hear that my father came out superior. My father was arrested, then my mother had to go and bail him out for the weekend and all that stuff.
So the only father you knew was
Bad.
he was like a gangster, the drinking, the fighting,
Yeah, he wasn't big into gangsterism because he was a working man and he wouldn't tolerate nonsense from gangsters. They knew him. So then growing up in the environment that my father left us in, and I'm junior, by the way. My father's name is Morgan as well. So they knew me for my father's name.
Yeah.
So I had a name to live up to.
I see.
So my father was a violent person. And obviously, I also started becoming violent. Growing up, my father always told me that you are born to be a boxer. I didn't like fighting at all, but because I had to defend myself in the environment.
So you felt like you had to live up to it.
Yes.
Yeah, you're pretty chill by nature.
Yes, I am. If you had to meet my son, you'll see that this is Morgan because he's quiet, he takes correction. If I just say, hey, he starts crying.
Wow. So
That's
he's
the
who
type-
you think you could have been
Yes.
in a different environment.
Yes, but then I was the type no one could tell me because I didn't have a father to tell me.
Yeah.
And my brother tried to be that father figure for me, but I fought a lot against him. I was against authority, and he was placed as authority in my life. Then I saw the disrespect that he gave my mother, and I just felt no. And then in the environment that I grew up in at school as well, I had a lot of arguments,
Did you get in fights in school?
a lot. They didn't understand the way I was. People always used to tell me, my father does, my father that. Because of that void in my heart, that I didn't have a father. I would fight them or argue them because they were jealous. I would always want to start a fight or do something to hurt the next person.
Because you were lashing out.
I was always lashing out. I had anger problems. Actually, in grade 9 or 10, I hurt one of the students very severely. I broke his arm and broke his nose.
What was the repercussion from that? Did the cops get involved or just the school?
Just the school. I got suspended. I was a good student, but it was only the fighting and the gang-related violence that made me get suspended. And I was suspended for 3 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
And then I had to attend therapy sessions and do community service. During that therapy sessions, the therapist, he wanted to trigger my anger.
Why?
To see what is the root cause of the anger that I have and why. But then I fought with him as well.
Like physically?
Physically got into a fight with my therapist.
What would he say?
He would ask me, why do you get angry? Then I'd answer him, then he say, don't lie. And I wouldn't like if someone tells me I'm lying when I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
He would provoke me in certain ways because he says, this is just us talking about your anger. Don't get angry. Then it would make me angry.
But when someone says to you, don't get angry, you want to be angry.
I want to get angry because he's going to now touch on personal things that you've already told him.
And how old were you? You were young?
I
14?
was 14 now. And that time I already was a little bit buff. And in my boxing, I excelled very quickly. Baby Jake Matlala, he was the champion. My father and him used to gym at the same place. So Baby Jake was very close to my father. There's a boxing academy. I used to go there and fight. So the champion for South Africa, he was actually there and he saw me fighting in the debut and then I won that fight and then took a picture of me and him actually showing each other face and boxing. That was like a highlight for my boxing life. A lot of other junior boxers got jealous of that. They tried to sabotage what was going to be happening in my life. You know, boxing, you can't fight outside of the ring.
Yes.
Because you have legalized that your hands are now weapons.
Yeah.
And
You
then,
can get in trouble.
yeah.
Even in the US, it's the same.
So then I was scheduled to fight one of the guys that was at my school. He would say things to provoke me because he knew my family and knew my brother. My grandfather died before that match. So he said, "You're going to fall just like your grandfather."
Ooh.
And then I felt anger just pulled up inside of me. I hit blank and I started beating on him as well. I felt that I should just see blood, and I broke his nose, his arm as well.
So this is the
Two of
second
his-
kid now.
Yes, and
And two of his
ribs.
ribs. Ouch.
And then I got suspended from school.
What grade was this?
I think it was grade 10 or 11.
So 14, 15, you've already beat 2 kids.
Yes.
Just to pause, it's interesting to me because you clearly have said you didn't want to be this person.
Yes.
You feel like,
The name that I have to.
yeah.
My father was this type of person. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But did you find the more you fought, did you like the adrenaline of it? Did you like the power you felt?
It was more like I had to avenge what they have to say, and I have to prove them wrong by fighting them.
And you felt that was the only way?
That was the only way. I was told that fighting makes you not the underdog,
The champion.
superior.
It's just interesting that you started getting much more violent once your parents split up. We know that for a fact. This is statistics. Children of broken homes are hurting. So did you stay with your mom?
Yes, I stayed with my mom because they declared my father as unstable because he was always drinking. If he was at home, he was sleeping. He moved. I don't know where he moved to, but my mother got the house and the car and obviously us. He would come weekends and grab us for a weekend. For me, it was just sobering because now I have relationship with my father without my brother involved. So now I get that one-on-one time with my father.
And did you find that it was good for you, or did you feel, because obviously it's a shift now, so how did you feel?
I just felt relieved because now I have that other figure in my life. He would tell me the way I'm loving is not right. He tried to correct what said about him, and I was already old enough to know that no, you are lying and you're the type of person to do it. Now you're telling me I shouldn't do it.
It's late in the game because now you're already a teenager.
I have to be the strong man for my mother and my sister in the house. And my mother would invite her friends over and they would come with their boyfriends or whatever. And some of these guys would, when my mother is drunk, try and press onto her. And I would have to get involved in some other way. And I would be known for fighting bigger men than me and being victorious in it as well.
So the reputation that you didn't want found you.
It found me.
Wow.
So I would look after my mother.
Real quick, were those the only 2 fights that you got in, the major ones that you got suspended for?
Yes. I started developing this to say I have to provide because I'm now in matric. I can't depend on my mother to sort out my matric banquet, my clothes and all these things. So I started selling marijuana and cigarettes at school.
So how did you get introduced to that?
We lived by the flats. So by the flats, there was 2 guys. The one that lived on top, he sold mandrakes. And the one that lived at the bottom of us, he sold marijuana, the skunk, all these things that they smoke now. So I would look from our balcony to see how their operation was. They wouldn't notice me watching them, but they always gave me that respect to see that this guy, he would beat one of us up anytime because my reputation started building up. The guy at the bottom had a lot of my friends buying from him. I told this guy, listen, these guys that are my age, they want weed at school. So just give me a few bags or a few plants, I'll sell it for you. And then eventually I started selling for myself. I needed the money. I wanted to take a weight off my mother for what she has done already in my life.
Did you ever drink because of your father?
I was always drinking every weekend, but it wasn't like I would drink to get drunk. I was just drinking to fit in. It was never my thing. Drinking was my sister's thing. She almost died last year. She was admitted into ICU and then she was declared 3 times dead.
Wow.
I put in a prayer request here in church. Pastor Levin and me and Pastor, we prayed and we got hold of God for her. And one day I went there and she opened her eyes. In ICU, she recognized me and she said, God isn't finished with me yet. And then she recovered. She always tells me, if it wasn't for you. So My smoking started when I matriculated and I started smoking Zol. I started gambling.
So the selling of it was to help your mom, and then
Yeah.
you matriculated fine.
Yeah, and then I matriculated.
Did you matriculate at your right age group?
Yes, I matriculated in my right age group.
You must be very clever because you got suspended so much for fighting. You could have been
Yeah, I
a
could
dropout.
drop out.
You had an environment where you were surrounded by drugs and alcohol. The fact that you didn't drop out.
The last semester of my matric, I failed. I didn't go back to rewrite. But for me to go as far as my matric in our family,
That's what I mean.
out of our generation, like 3 made it.
Wow. I've sat with so many people who don't have those chaotic environments and they still
Dropped out.
drop out. So that just tells me that you must have been very clever. You try to hide it
I try my best to hide it.
because it's good for your reputation, no?
Yeah, you can't be a gangster nerd. You can't.
So after matric, you said that's when you started smoking. What caused that?
That started because my grandfather, he wrote in his will that my mother is supposed to inherit the house. A lot of my mother's sisters didn't agree with that. So it started a little bit of a quarrel. And then my family neglected my mother because she was the baby. Her baby brother died and they were close. So that led her into a deep depression. And for me, seeing my mother go through that, I couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I also started feeling that depression because now my mother, she lost her job. She said she's going to sell the flat that we have and then she's going to move in by the house that my grandfather left for her and looked after my granny because my grandfather then died.
Yeah.
So we sold our flat. She took all the money that she saved up for me and my sister to study. I said, no, I'm not going to college. We can rather start a life with it because I didn't like poverty. I always like to sit and eat nice food at the proper time and stuff like that. So my mother moved back to her mother's house. We started living there. We extended the house from a 4-bedroom house to, I think it's 8 bedrooms now.
Wow.
2 lounges, 3 toilets, and there's like an office study as well.
Nice.
So in our family, my cousin, we would always have competition. Me and him are the same age, but our upbringing is different. So he was more of, they call it a cheese boy. I was more ghetto. He would want to be like me and I would want to be like him. When he got the bike, I would drive his bike from Cluspray to Extension 4. And then he would come fetch his bike, then drive from Extension 4 to Cluspray just to have that experience.
Yeah.
We share that type of things. And then while growing up, they would call us horrible and terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Because you would start a fight, then I would actually go through with the fight.
Wow.
When I matriculated, I started going deeper into selling drugs because of the environment. And the cost of living started becoming more. I don't have a job.
Yeah.
My father couldn't support us anymore because I'm now a grown man. My sister is working and she's living her own life. When we moved, I already had connections for getting drugs from Extension 4. So Westbury is most renowned for its drugs and gangsterism.
We just had Lloyd on here. He was from there, so he was talking about
So I have family in 3 extensions in Westbury, from cliques, the and but it's extinct now. But these 2 other cliques, they're more dominating because it's from generation to generation, it's been passed down. So most of them, they know me as this guy, Morgan's son. My father had a big name there on that side because he would fight these gangsters. They must stop it because they are family.
Wow.
So he was the median.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's still alive though.
I know. I was thinking like, that's insane.
So he was the one that always had the ammunition. He had guns. He had a lot of guns, but it was legal guns. These guys who had unlicensed guns, they would come to him and buy ammo from him. He also now started delving into this gangsterism. He saw that there's money in it to start providing for his family again.
Yeah.
He started selling, and then people would know his name, especially in Westbury. And then when I would come there, they know me as his son. Then they'll call me Junior. Yeah, Junior. They would want me close because they knew if they had favor with me,
exactly,
my father wouldn't know, but the people he supplied actually supplied me.
Wow.
So my supplier would say, listen, I'm your father's son, so just take it for free. I'm like, okay, thank you. I would take it because now I know I'm gonna
So they're buying favor by giving you stuff. Then
my father gave them.
So they're hoping it gets back to your dad.
Yeah.
They're playing both sides.
Yes. My dad would go to Cape Town. So he would get it for cheaper in Cape Town and bring it up. I don't know how he did it.
I was going to say how.
I don't know how he did it.
We don't want to know.
I didn't want to know, but I'm so lucky that I didn't go into his business. I started seeing most of his peers started shooting each other.
Yeah.
That's when I went closer into him and I asked him, what are you really doing? What is going on in your life? He started opening up to me, told me what he was doing. And then I told him that the same thing that he's doing, I'm doing. And he said, let's make a vow to one another that both of us, we're going to stop and start living a right life. So then he stopped. This girlfriend that they had started feeling that now he can't provide. She left him with my brother and my sister.
Wow.
And he was now back at work. He asked me to raise them like my brother raised me and my sister.
Yeah.
So I did that. While they were in school, I would cook for him, I'll clean the house. I would try and cool down because of that anger and the drug-related crimes that I did. Because Necherina is, it's like a
Very
suburb.
quiet.
So there wasn't any drug dealing happening there, and I didn't want to be a drug dealer there. There's a lot of cops.
COs from the prison.
Yeah. They see you. It's close, very close. So I wouldn't want to get caught from these people. They're community justice.
Yeah.
Because now you're selling it to their sons and daughters.
Yeah.
I would rather just lay low. When my baby sister and my baby brother, he was a year or two younger than her. When they went to high school, I told my father, listen, I've taught them everything I could. So I separated myself from my father, and he always said, this is your house because I can see that you're going to look after this house. I started dating and being with my baby mama now. I was actually called in for an interview for a towing company.
Okay.
I had been working for a panel shop and I met up with this one dude that showed me towing. I was fascinated with big engines and all these supercharged cars. And I saw this guy had a supercharger on a V6 and it was a breakdown. I was like, yo, this thing must be fast. And I introduced myself to this guy. We became friends and he taught me the nicks and tricks of towing and all these things. I started living with him. He was now my main source of income. I started working with him because I had adapted this thing in towing. I had luck when it comes to places.
Yeah.
I knew street names.
My brain works like that. I read maps just because I'm a nerd. Like I can figure out a way to get
there faster.
Yeah.
Like a maze. Like I loved mazes when I was growing up. That made me more advanced in.
Good. That gives me an insight how your brain works. I like that.
Me, my friend, and his two brothers, we started this thing. We brought it from Westbury to Yalraru Park. My friend group was these guys from the rural area. They were in the Afrikaans class. They were the guys that always started group fights, gang fights. But I was always with an English group. They would come to me because the other gang members knew me for the persona I had. I liked fighting. And when it came down to a fight, I would win. So then they would put me in the middle of that crowd, but I would always be with the English-speaking people because they were the guys that was always studying. They were more privileged. They were the guys that had money and they were bullied from these guys. So when they were bullied, they would call me to say, Morgan, come, so this guy, please, I'll pay you. Then I would take that money, then I'd bully the bully.
Yeah.
But then I know this bully is my friend. He's going to do it again. So it was like a money gimmick for me.
So you're playing both sides again?
Again. So my cousin and these three brothers, we started a group. So we would sell drugs in the school and from home, here by the flats.
Yeah.
That time, if it was a gang fight, they would use knives, machetes and stuff like that. Not like now when they're shooting. We actually would walk past one of the guys that I stabbed, or he stabbed me, or we had a fight. Then we would say, you are my best enemy. We made fun of it.
Because it was more about the thrill of the fight than to cause death.
Yes. Now it's totally different.
So you've been stabbed?
Yes, numerous times.
Anything dangerous?
Just the ugliest one on my arm was like 16 stitches. Tied with a butcher knife.
Ooh.
But that guy is no longer alive. And I didn't kill him, by the way. It's drug related because they're fighting for corners, for a name. They're fighting to have the money.
So it's just for the drugs, the money?
Yes.
Wow.
That's what's happening now. But at that time when we started this thing, it was more for money.
How bad did it get before you decided, I need a change? How old are you? 35. So you lived a pretty long time before you came here.
Yes, very long. For me, my son is now 10 years old. I was 25 when I got the news that he was going to be born. When I was 19, I just started a job. And then in that job, I had runners, people that were now
working under you,
selling for me.
Okay.
We were the top guys, the go-tos if you want to start selling. So we would provide. And then I was driving the tow trucks. Not a metro cop or cop would stop me and search my car. So I would drive around with more than 30 Ks of
Wow.
marijuana or crystal meth. I would operate with large quantities. They're not going to stop me. So then we go drop it there by the merchant's place. They would fill the car with drugs and then they'd phone me and I would just go fetch the car, tow it, to my brother-in-law's place, drop it off there. When it's dark, everyone is sleeping. We take all the drugs up into the flat and then we start packing and selling.
Wow.
So that was our operation. Now I have a son on the way. So I started working overtime. The first 2 years of my son's life, I was all right. I was renting in my own place, me and my girlfriend at the time.
I think you said before we started recording, but she had a daughter.
Yes, I
And-
met her with the daughter.
Okay. So it's now the four of you, you
Yes.
and your girlfriend and your stepdaughter and your
Yes.
son. Okay.
And then when me and my girlfriend would go to work, my mother would look after the kids.
Okay.
But then on the side, I would make these odd calls to other tow truck drivers to say, nah, just go tow that car for me.
Oh.
They wouldn't even know that they're traveling drugs.
Oh,
I
okay.
give them the cash money for the tow.
So it's a side job, a cash side job.
So then I would pay them. They would be like, but Morgan, this is not the regular tow's money. But then I'll say, no, don't worry, man. You're my bro. I know that you have people to feed. So put food on your table.
Yeah.
With them not even knowing they were transporting drugs for me. So my girlfriend would find out that I'm getting money secretively because now I'm sitting at home, but I'm getting more money.
Wow.
So she would ask me, what are you actually doing? And she was highly against drugs because most of her brothers and family members are slaves to this thing, addicted to it. She saw what it does in a family.
So she didn't want a part of it.
She doesn't want a part of
Yeah.
it. I think when my son was 3 years old, we broke up and that led me to start smoking drugs.
Did she take your son?
She did. I started smoking drugs. I started selling it. That gradually made me come to the point where I was on my lowest. I was broken. My friends and my cousins, they didn't want to be around me because I was a bum. I was smoking a lot with heroin addicts,
What were you smoking?
crystal meth, and the mandrakes that I sold. I would buy maybe 5 grams and go to this place they call lolly lounges.
Yeah. The drug house.
Drug house.
Yeah.
So I would come in and then be the one to have the most drugs. I would be there and smoke with everyone. Then my cousin, my brother-in-law and his brothers would come and get me out of that place. They would try and beat me up, but they wouldn't get me right because I was stronger and they couldn't fight. Then they tried to persuade me and all these things, but I was thinking they're hypocrites because they're selling the things. Then they said, listen, just leave this thing for a month, then we can put you back on game, then you can start selling again. I started becoming clean. This was the first time I came to choose to change, and Pastor Spa was running the place. And Pastor Spa quickly noticed me to say that I've been on outreach and I've been witnessing to you. You told me, are you selling these things that I'm running a rehab for? I wouldn't take note the Potter's house people or any church people because why? I felt that if God was really alive, then why would he let people like me and people that are out here really suffering go through what they are going through? If he's really alive, then why would he let that happen?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that at that time there was a demonic force that was living inside of my surrounding and inside of me.
For sure.
So what happened was this 1 week, 2 of my friends came over to support me and start chilling with me by the corner that I'm selling. It was a normal day, but that day was scheduled for me to finish the drugs I had and go fetch more stock.
Okay.
But we don't have the tow truck, so we would stage a breakdown in an area that is close to Westbury. And then we'll phone a tow truck driver to say, come help us. We need to take this car home.
So they could transport the drugs.
The car with us must know the drugs. Here in Eldorado Park. So he helped us. The second time, Thursday, I didn't have enough money to go and stock. These guys went without me. They found the wrong tow truck driver. This tow truck driver was related to one of the... So he told them, listen here, I have 4 that just phoned me. They are standing on such and such a corner with a broken car there. I'm sure that they have drugs and money on them. Go and shoot them. Unfortunately, my brother-in-law's brother and those 2 friends with him, they got murdered there. I was supposed to be with him.
Oh, wow.
And then when I found out, I went there with the tow truck drivers because I'm known for towing. I came there, I identified them, and then...
They were all shot.
They were all shot and murdered. And no one in the community know who was the guys that shot him. But if someone gets shot, someone must know who is it.
Everyone's there.
Everyone's there to see. I started becoming very fearful of these things. because I valued my life. I wanted to be in my son's life and see him grow and prosper. I backed out of drugs totally that time, but I didn't stop smoking it. I started going back to this friend's house of mine, the tow truck driver. I started living there by him. That area of his is predominantly they from Western, they know my father. So I was hiding in the middle of the army.
Yeah.
I started confiding in this friend of mine. The ones that got shot, it's their uncle, but he is a so I was there by him. Me and him were friends.
Yeah.
We had T-connection. Because of my father's inspiration to all these gangs, both of them, I can operate freely anywhere. They know me. Then what happened was, this friend of mine, he started getting wins because he found out who my father really is. Now he started saying to the yeah, you don't know me. I'm with Mogi here. He would do that when he's drunk.
He was name dropping.
He was name dropping and pulling up gang signs. That is one thing my father told me not to ever do because that will get you killed.
Yeah.
And then I told him straight, my brother, if you're going to keep on doing this, I'm going to exclude myself from you. And then he said, no, I'm just playing with these small boys. And I told him straight, this is no longer small boys. This is big men with guns.
Yeah.
They're starting to shoot one another now. Who do you think you are to just provoke these lighters? And if those boys were to pull a gun on you, they're going to shoot you. Don't think that your small gun is going to outfire 5, 10 guns. They're going to shoot you. He didn't believe me. I started withdrawing from him. I started going back to my mother's place in Closebread. I wanted to be close to my son. My mother told me straight, listen, I know the history you have with drugs and all these things. Please, you're not my son if you own those things. If you want to be here, be with me in the house. I must be in the house always. If I want to go and fetch my son, I can go fetch my son and come.
Yeah. She really was trying to protect you.
Every time when I had a cap to smoke, I would be away from home like for 3 days, 4 days. And it would make her angry. And then she would chase me out of the house. Just go away.
Yeah.
Eventually, she said, you need to go to a rehab. Because I was here the first time.
How long were you here the first time?
4 months. 4 months, yeah.
What?
That time when Pastor Shannon was sent out to Shawela. That was the time that I was here. Just after that conference, I left.
Was it just too hard?
The program isn't a tough thing for me. It's like jail with nice food and freedom.
Yeah.
For most of my life, I've been to jail like it's a norm.
Yeah.
I've been to Sun City. I've been to a lot of other prisons. Like I would be there for a month, come out. Another month, come out. Every year of my life.
Just for drugs and gangs and violence?
Violence, just random things. I would be there and then my mother or someone would bail me. But then this friend of mine, when we started drinking, he would be the one to get drunk and then see other people are looking at him funny, which they are not. Then he would provoke them. And these people, they know me. I'm a person that likes stature. I don't want to lower myself to your stature. What business I have speaking to you even?
Yeah.
So he was one that if you were lower than me, he's going to press on you. He's going to want to make you feel how low you are. And I would tell him, listen, my brother, you are bigger than this. Why would you still want to go there? Then he'd say, hey man, you are so lighty by me. Then I would say, okay, sharp. I'm living with you. It's your place.
Yeah.
I'd rather just go. So I left. Now he was dating another girl. She would provoke these boys and come to him and tell him that they said this about you. And he would believe her and then he would cash out on them. Now I was already in the program. One day I got a phone call. They always had a saying, you're going to get dismissed before Christmas. That meant you're going to die before Christmas. He told one of the gang leaders, he's going to get dismissed before Christmas. There's a hit out on that person. But instead of him warning him, he provoked him. And this guy he provoked is a close friend of mine. So he phoned me. He said, listen, tell that man to stop provoking, sending a friendly warning.
Yeah.
So I phoned his mother and she said, if anything happens to my son, I know you involved. I said, okay, sharp. I am in a rehab. There's nothing I can do. He came past here once. He had one of my favorite alcohols in his bakkie. I was like, come man, you don't need this place. Let's just go and drink. We'll have fun with these girls. And what I told him straight, no, my brother, I've changed my life. I'm no longer in that space of drinking or smoking or entertaining any type of demonic things. I felt that was a demonic attack.
Yeah.
Now, me knowing that his nephews already, they don't like him. So that Christmas, on Christmas Day, with his son and his 2 babies, his girlfriend, he was called from the bottom. They call him like they want him to tow a car for them. He just gave this baby to the neighbor. He came down the stairs. They shot him 27 times. On Christmas Day, they shot him. That's when I saw that now God is really working in my life. That's when I actually surrendered to God. Saying, God, you took me out of this place. If I would have been in that place at that time with him, if he didn't give me the wisdom, if he didn't give me the places and the people, to come to me and tell me that this is going to happen, then I actually realized that God is moving in my life. Me coming to choose to change is not just me being a part of a church or me being in ministry or getting to know God. It's me being someone that I want to be, a better me, not someone that I am pressed to be.
Yeah.
All my life, I was pressed to be the type of person that I was. Honestly speaking, I didn't want to be that person.
Yeah.
It made me miserable. I hit rock bottom because of that. Year before last, on my birthday, the cemetery is next to Closebread. You get the highway, then the cemetery, then you get Closebread. So I was sitting close to the highway. I was thinking of committing suicide, like running over the road, and if a car hits me or a truck hits me, I would just die. But I was remembering my grandmother telling me, there's a verse in the Bible that says, the God you serve and the God you know will take you out of your ashes, let you stand out of your ashes, and you'll become great once again. But that verse stood up, and then I started praying. I said, God, listen, if you really are alive and you have really kept me thus far, just show me that you have a way and you have a plan for me.
Yeah.
And amazingly, my mother told me, listen, go to that rehab again. You have nothing to lose. Everyone you love and everyone who is in your life, we want the best for you.
Yeah.
If you want the best for yourself. And if you don't want to do it for me or for your son, do it for yourself.
Yeah.
That stuck with me because I always told myself, if you're going to be influenced by what people say you are and what people think of you, then it's not actually who you really are. That is just a character that they put together. They don't actually know the real you. I would pray in the morning from 7 till 8, and then I would read my Bible, and then I would go on with my daily chores in life because man must work.
Yeah.
I started becoming clean when Pastor Success or Rashida, when he was here with his revival, I started coming to church. Pastor Spa was still here. I told him, Pastor, listen, I'm clean now. I've left my nonsense. I came with scars, 3 stitches here on my forehead and 5 here back because of previous fights. I came to Pastor Spa. I told him, look, you can see physically I'm broken. I have a case because of drugs. If you can help me attend the case and get clean, that's all I need. He said, no, you know what you need to do. You know the reason why you must be here. I asked him why. He said, because you need God.
Yeah.
He prayed for me, and then after the revival, he let me in the house. During that revival, another demonic assault came. This previous boss, he phones me and he says, listen, I have a truck for you. Without a license, nothing. You can just come and take the truck. I didn't know that this guy, he is setting me up for destruction. This friend of mine, he got shot. This was January. In that week, he got shot and he got rushed to hospital. They fixed the truck and then they wanted to give it to me with the place that he was shot at.
Set up.
It's a setup for me to get shot in his place.
Yeah.
So I took it. While I was there, I was doing my normal routine. So I was now praying and I was still smoking cigarettes. So I didn't have money on me. I saw this boy walking past. He's a I know him. I was like, hey bro, come to me, quiet, what's wrong? So I saw him running away from the truck. I was like, no, this is suspicious now. So I followed him. I was like, hey my bro, what's wrong? I said, yo Morgan, how are you? I didn't know it was you. Didn't know this guy that was driving this truck was shot now. I was just about to run to these people to tell him he's dead, he must come finish the job. I was like, don't go to that people. Let me go drop this car and then you can sort these things out. And then I came into the program and Pastor Spa, he took me in. Coming into this church, I felt love, I felt relief. I know that I am where God wants me to be. There would have been numerous times in my life. If I wasn't in this program, I would have died.
Absolutely.
I would have definitely been killed. The spaces that I've been in through this year, I can't say I've made a bad decision coming here.
So you came in January of 2024.
Yes.
So obviously you did the whole program and you've been out. You graduated in June because I just saw the certificate.
Yes.
You're coming up. It's been 5 months. You're getting close to being 6 months out.
Yes.
That is crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Never mind the parts you don't know about, but just the 3 instances that you do know about that you absolutely should have died.
Yeah. God was there. He was moving.
God spared you, like legitimately, you were supposed to die there.
It was nicely set up for me not to die.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then here you are now, clean, in ministry. I like what you said when you said, growing up, everything that you did before was what you felt you had to be.
Yes.
But this is the first time you felt like, no, this is what I want to be. And I think it's very powerful.
It's just God moving in my life, and I recognize it, and It's something that I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
I saw that this year with the conference, that I am really part of something bigger than just me, bigger than this church, bigger than what is happening around me, bigger than my life even.
Like you said, yes, we want that for you. There's people in your life. Your mom wants you to do good, but you seem to have realized that this is what God has for you. This is who you're supposed to be, and not just by chance.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Obviously, like a lot of people in life, say if you didn't want to be a pastor's wife, you wouldn't have come to church. You have the right to say no.
Yeah.
So if I didn't want to be here, I would have said, man, church, no, I just need to be clean in order for me to make money out of it. For me, I just felt that I need to leave drugs because that is like the gateway to what is happening around my life. And this is the thing that's killing my generation.
Absolutely.
So I need to leave that.
But it's even more than that. It's not even what you need to leave, but it's who you're supposed to be. Yeah. Obviously, I don't know the future, but just listening to your story, you have so much potential.
I also feel that way. Sometimes when you're going through the most and then you think to yourself, listen, is this where you really want to be? Look how you're struggling. You notice people, they want to see you do good, but not better than them. Does this pastor really love you? Does he really have your best interest in mind? And then what my pastor told me one thing is, if that type of questions pop up in your mind, just say yes. He does really love me.
Absolutely.
Yes, he does have the best interest in mind. Even if he comes and it's not what you want to be directed into, just take it with a little bit of salt. Yeah. To say, listen, this is my father. Let's work on what he says. For me, next to home, the gates are always open. I could long ago go back and say, listen,
I'm clean now.
Let me start going the wrong way again. My cousin this year, June, July, when I graduated, he came to me with a bag full of money, just 200 notes and 100 rand notes. He said, I want 850,000 rand now. Come, I bought this car, a new Audi A3. He said, get in the car, let's go. Let's go start this business that we always planned. Like, no, give your mother something, buy for yourself a house, support your son. I'm happy for you. I don't need any of your money. He was like, I don't believe this. But I told him, I said, God loves you, my cousin. Come to his house. He's always waiting for your call.
I think when you have those doubts in your mind, the devil is always going to try. I was raised completely different than you, and I still fight those things. You still fight. The devil always tries. But you need to ask yourself this. I hope you remember this forever.
I am.
You ask yourself, why is the devil working so hard to get you to come back? It's because God has something so great for you. Why would the devil care so much?
Exactly.
So in those moments of doubt, you need to, the devil's fighting so hard because I know there's something great. There is no reason that you should be alive right now. There's no reason that you would even have the ability to walk away from your cousin and say, no, I'm not doing that anymore. It's the grace of God. I'm humbled every day by God's grace in my life. And then when I get to sit with people, God is so good. He cares about everyone. He cares about everyone.
Yes.
Why is the devil working so hard? Morgan, I really think there's something so great and the devil's very worried. If you keep going the way you're going, the devil's going to be in trouble. And I think that's why he's working so hard against you. I wish I could see what God has for you in the future because it has to be amazing.
I also wish I could see it so I could strive for it. That's the thing.
I see you in church, and if people could see you, obviously, I'll put your picture up, but you look intimidating. You have a very intimidating look, but you're very calm and quiet and personable. You're just like this chill guy in church. And you would never say there's all the brains back there and all the personality and all this really deep side to you, which is so great. That's what I love doing, what I do. And you just hold on to that.
Pastor Shannon, I like him for one thing. He says, don't compromise.
Never.
Don't compromise. The moment you compromise, you're selling.
Yep.
Selling for a lot less that you are worth. So don't lose your value.
Absolutely.
He always told me, don't lose your value.
He's a smart guy.
He's very smart. I told myself that because I was so deep into what I was into. I went to a rehab once. I came out. They sugarcoat religion or your belief as a higher power.
Yeah.
So you can even make a stick your higher power. For me, that worked up until I said no.
This is not going to help you when the demons come at night. When you're struggling, when you're like, why am I here? What is the purpose? Why should I even be clean?
Exactly. It's not going to happen. Most of the times when I'm asking myself that same questions that you ask now, and I'm like, no, just think about it properly. God helped you. God was keeping his hand of protection over you because why? He has a purpose for you.
Yeah.
The chains are broken.
I really believe that. I really am thankful that you took the time today and shared your story with me.
Anything for my pastor's wife.
If you could say one thing to maybe somebody who is struggling with their identity or maybe just trying to get out of drugs, what would you say to encourage them to keep going and get to where you are now?
Something that always helped me was the fact that I have reference points whereby I saw God moving in my life. If you can exactly mark where your reference points are and write them down, know when your breakthrough came. Like for me, I had a license, it got suspended, but this wasn't because of wreck and neck driving or anything. It was because of I had infringements and that I had to pay and I didn't have the money for it. I came into the program and asked God to help me get the finance to get my license back. Now I have my license without any tickets on it, nothing. It's clean as a whistle. And for that is a reference point for me because without God, I couldn't have raised the money.
Yeah.
Things that helped me was the motivation, my reference points, as I said. So like I always went to Pastor and asked him, Pastor, I'm going through this. How do I deal with this? In the moment, I would go to Pastor with that feeling of anger in me or that feeling of pride in me. We all are human. We have pride.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't want to ask that question, I would go to Pastor and say, Pastor, listen, I'm dealing with lust. I know that this is going to get me kicked out of the program, but help me. How must I do this and how must I get rid of this? And then Pastor would guide and direct me and fully surrender. If you can surrender, if you submit and you get to know the person who your pastor really is and build a relationship with him, there's nothing that can stop you. Because now if you have a relationship with a man of God and believe that he has your best interest at heart, then you will also have your own best interest at heart and believe that he is from God. God works through people.
Yeah, I think that's great. So you got to remember, try to look for what God's done in your life and use those as reference points and then just surrender to headship and stay connected.
Yes.
And you're going to make it.
And you know that God always uses someone in the church.
Yeah. Just at the end of it, we just have to remember that God really does love us. In a fallen world, in a broken world, it's very hard sometimes. You just remember God really does love us and he will go to any length to bring us to where we're supposed to be. And
God mostly works in the dimension of surrender. When you are fully surrendered,
it's true. Yeah.
It's true. You will definitely go farther in life.
Great. Thank you very much. I want to take this time to say thank you to my listeners. Without a listener, the story can't be heard. If you would like to contact me with questions, comments, or ideas, you can do so through the podcast email, notthesame.cfm@gmail.com. Take a moment to rate and review on whichever platform you're using. Like, subscribe, follow, and above all, please share. Last but not least, I encourage you to take a moment and examine yourself. If you are not a Christian, or perhaps you don't know, you can be. The Bible tells us that out of pure love, God sent his only Son to die for our sin. A simple prayer is all it takes to acknowledge your sin, recognize Jesus paid for that sin, and sincerely ask for forgiveness. Until next time, this is Rachel Heimberg, and you've been listening to Not the Same.